Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers to the drawing on May 15th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is the format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 6, 8, 9, 37, and 40. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 6, and the 6 was red. The 8 was purple. The 9 was purple. The 37 was green. And the 40 was purple. Okay, so I'm going to color these in. So again, the 6 was red. The 8, 9, and 40 were purple. And the 37 was green. Okay, so now I'm going to count how many colors I have. So I have 3 purple, 1 green, and 1 red for 3 colors total. Okay, so now I'm going to come up here, and now I kept track of 331 color code drawings, okay? And out of this 331 drawings, a 3-color combination has now come up 179 times. Okay, so if you do some quick math and divide 179 into 331, you can see that a 3-color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, and to me that's huge because long term, if I just keep on picking a 3-color combination, I know statistically I'm going to be correct more than half the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to eliminate all these colors and start from scratch. Okay. So what I did is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided them by 5 different colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, which equals 13.8. So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, or a good representation of each color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the red numbers because that represents hot. They just came up, they're hot. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 6, and actually I'm going to start with these last 3 drawings of numbers for my red numbers. Okay. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers, okay? So again, I'm going to start with the 6, the 8, the 9, 37, and 40. And then the 1, 45, 53, 64, and 66. And then the last row was 6, 16. Actually, the 6 is taken, so 16, 23, and 30. And the last one is 61. So again, I'm going to make these red numbers. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So I have 4, and 5 is 9. 3 is 12, and 2 is 14. So I'm going to make this 14 up here, okay? So up here it tells me how many colors I have on the game card, okay? So now I'm going to go to the orange area right here, and I'm going to start with the 5. Okay, so the 5, 23 is already taken. The 28, 56, 66 is taken. Then it's the 2, 29, 41, 45 is taken to 62. And then the 6 is taken, 32, 35, 36, and 65. Okay, and then the last row is 3, 27, 30 is taken, 63, and 65 is taken. So again, I'm going to make these orange numbers. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So I have 5 and 3 is 8, and 3 more is 11, and 3 is 14. So I'm going to keep that 14 for the orange numbers. Okay, so you can see as I'm filling up the game card here, my next color is green, so I need more green numbers to get up to that 13 or 14 mark that I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 1, which is taken, then the 15, 17, 46, 66 is taken. Then the next row is 4, 17 is taken, 26, 32 is taken, 49. Then the next row is 12, 21, 23 is taken, 39, 67. And then the next row is 15 is taken, 33, 43, 59, and 60. And then the next row is 16, which is taken, 19, 25, 32 is taken, 49 is taken, and the last row is 21, which is taken to 52, 54, 64 is taken, and the 68. So I'm going to make all these green numbers, okay, and now I'm going to count how many I have. So I have 2, 3 is 5, 2 more is 7, 8, 9, 10, and 4 is 14, 3 is 17, and 2 more is 19, so I'm going to keep that right there at 19, okay? So that's 5 more than I want, okay? But the thing about my color code here is that this is set in stone, okay? So just because I have more green for this drawing than I want, that doesn't mean that I could just make these blue numbers now, okay? Like I said, this is set in stone, and basically what happens, this 6 will work its way down like a caterpillar here, okay? And it will make all the colors even out eventually, okay? So you can see with this last line here, you can see that the 21 is green, the 52 is green, the 54 is green, the 64 is red, and the 68 is green. So 4 of these numbers right here are going to come off of the green area, okay? This next drawing. So, and there might be another hit here or there, so it could come down to 14 or 15 numbers for the next drawing, okay? So we'll see what happens. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just to speed things up, is I'm going to scroll over to the right here. I think you get the gist of how I came up with this color code and the game card. Okay, so for this drawing, I got 14 red numbers, 14 orange, 19 green, 13 blue, and 9 purple. Okay, so again, more than half the time, a 3-color combination comes up. Okay, so that means more than half the time, 2 colors are not coming up, and that's what I want to focus on here. So the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these colors will not be coming up, okay? So you can see that all 5 colors do come up. It's come up 12 times out of 331 drawings, okay? So it hardly ever comes up, okay? So there's a good chance that one of these colors will not be coming up, okay? So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick no red numbers, okay? And the reason why is because a red number has come up in the last 3 drawings, okay? And as I look from here down to here, I just see lots of red in between, so I'm just trying to guess what the ebb and flow will be, okay? And my guess is that no red numbers are going to come up, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block out these numbers here. Okay, so just give me a second as I block them all out. Okay, so when I block out a number like this 16 here, that means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think would be the 5-way winning Powerball numbers, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm spending $3 on a Powerball ticket, which includes the Power Play, okay? So in other words, what I'm doing is I'm betting $3 that none of these red numbers will come up in the next drawing, okay? And if I'm correct with my bet and none of these red numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm going to move on to what I like to do next. And what I like to do next is get you involved with this. Okay, so what I like you to do at home is draw out this game card. Okay, you don't even have to write the numbers down to it. Just draw out the squares. Okay. And if you're going to follow me and say no red numbers are going to come up as well, then this is what your game card should look like at home. Okay, so again, I want you to X out all the red numbers. So your game card is going to look like this with these X's here. Okay, so again, what we're doing is trying to eliminate numbers to reduce the odds for ourselves. Okay. So go ahead, make your prediction. What I'm going to do is bring this back. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Okay, so this blue comes out to 23 drawings, I do believe. So when you see a purple number means that it hasn't come up in at least 24 drawings. Okay, so that means it's really cold. Okay, so just looking at all these colors here, you tell me which one you don't think is going to come up, and then X those colors out off your game card. Okay, so if you need more time to do that, then pause the video, and I'm going to move on to the next strategy. Okay, so that's strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so again, there's 69 numbers here. Okay, so what I did is I divided the 69 numbers into 7 different groups. Okay, so group number 1 holds the numbers of 1 through 9, and this is the only group that has 9 numbers. Okay, and then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay, again for 7 groups total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card here. Maybe. Okay, so there it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so again, I'm going to reduce this down. I want you to see the whole card as a whole here. Okay. Okay, so again, I divided this into 7 different groups. Okay. And again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay. So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these groups will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how you read this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings, okay? And the reason why I like to do it in 5 is because when I go back into the history of things, it's easier to count going 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on, okay? But my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, or vice versa, okay? So this is how I like to look at things, okay? So I'm going to make a guess on which one of these groups will not have the winning Powerball number to it, and I'm going to guess that it's going to be the 60 numbers, okay? So we're right here as far as the current drawing, okay? So as you go back into the history of things, you can see that there's the 60 numbers there's just been a ton of them, okay? So you can see that there was 6 here, then 5, and then 6, okay? So I just think that since it's been so hot here, it's actually been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drawings in a row. Okay, it missed the last drawing, so since it's been 7 in a row, I think there's going to be a couple misses in a row, okay? So I'm going to predict that no 60 numbers are going to come up in this drawing, okay? So I'm going to eliminate the 60 numbers off of my game card, okay? So I want you to take a look at this, and I want you to make your guess on what group you don't think will have the winning Powerball number to it, okay? So if you need more time, pause the video, okay? And I'm going to put this back up. And I want to go over one more thing with you here. Okay, so over here, you can see that this was the last drawing, 6, 8, 9, 37, 40. Okay, so I'm going to update this here. So the 6, I'm going to make this red right here. Okay, and the reason why I'm making it red is because the 6 is red. Okay, and the 6 is red because the color code said it was red. Okay, so now I'm going to make the 8 and the 9 purple. Okay, so why I do this is now I could just highlight like this 6, and I could go back into the history of things and see how often a red number comes up. Okay, so you can see that right here, red came up right after it, red, okay? So I kind of think that the 6 is done, all right? And this one has hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drawings in a row, okay? So I think that it's due for these numbers of 1 through 9 not to come up as well, okay? But I only like to make one pick, okay? Because once you make another pick, your odds of being correct go way up, okay? So I'm going to stick with just no 60 numbers, all right? And what I like to do is I like to show you this as well, okay? So this is how many groups did it hit. So you can see that the 6, 8, and 9 is one group, the 37's in the 30 group, and the 40 is in the 40 group. So that's 3 groups that came up, okay? So now I tried to correctly guess how many groups are going to come up in this next drawing, okay? So you can see that there's been a bunch of 4s through here. Okay, so I'm looking at, I think it's either going to be a 3 or a 5 that's going to come up. So I want it to represent that when I'm picking my numbers. Okay, so I'm going to move on. And now here's the game card, and I said I don't think any 60 numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one right here, the 67, the 65, the 69, the 62, 63, 60, and 68. And I'll tell you why the 60 numbers are randomly put around this game card as we go along. Okay, so I got rid of those, and I want you to get rid of your pick. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next strategy. So strategy number 3, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. Okay, so again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so there has to be a majority of even numbers or odd numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. So I like to keep track of that and try to correctly guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so I'll update this one right here. So what I'm looking for is evens and odds. So you can see that the 6 is evens and the 40 is even. So there was 3 odd numbers and 2 even numbers. Okay. So I'm going to make this 3 odd, 2 evens. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this red so it stands out. And that way I know I could quickly look at things and see what the majority was, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 376 drawings that I kept track of, okay? And basically this goes back to October 15th, October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball Lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers, okay? So again, there was more odd numbers than even, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 197 now, okay? So out of the 376 drawings, 197 have been the majority of odd numbers, okay? 179 drawings have been the majority of even numbers, okay? So again, I want to correctly guess what's going to happen in the next drawing, okay? So what I do is I like to keep track of every 5 drawings. And again, the reason why I like to do this is to show me a majority of things, okay? So as I go back into the history of things, you can see that it's went through a big streak of odd numbers here, okay? So this was odds, 3 drawings to 2, so you can see that here's the 3 drawings that the majority was odd numbers, okay? So as I go up, it goes evens, odds, evens, odds, evens. So I think that this next 5 is going to be the majority of even numbers, okay? And I also think that this next drawing will have the majority of even numbers as well, okay? So this is going to help me decide what group of numbers is going to come up and not come up, okay? So I'm going to write that down by my game card, and I want you to write down what you think the majority will be for this upcoming drawing as well, okay? So let me go back to the 50-50 picks. And again, I'll just go down for the last 16 drawings here, okay? I don't think you need to go more than that. And out of this 16 drawings, you can see that there was 3, 4, and 4's 8, okay? So it's been pretty even here. 8 evens, 8 odds in the last 16 drawings. So you decide what you think is going to happen here, okay? So again, I think it's going to be more evens, and you write down what you think is going to be, okay? If you need more time, then pause the video, okay? And I'm going to move on. So this next one is the majority of high and low, okay? So all the numbers in red are high numbers. All the ones in blue are considered low. Even these 60 numbers, the 65, the 66, and 67, when those numbers come up, I record them in the low area, okay? So right now, this is neck and neck, 188 drawings to 188 drawings, okay? So I look at this, and the last 16 drawings, you can see that there's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the last 16 drawings to the high side, okay? So what I'm thinking that there's going to be more high numbers or more numbers to this red area than the blue numbers, okay? So when I look at this, I want to envision that at least 3 numbers will be here in this red area, okay? So moving on, here this is left and right, okay? So as I go down to the last 16 drawings here, you can see that we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's only 6 over here, and there's been a big streak over here to the right, okay? So for me, I think that the majority will be over here to the left, okay? So I'm going to write that down as well, okay? So I said high and to the left. Okay, so I got one more, and that's this red and blue area right here, okay? So you can see that the red is way ahead, 210 drawings to 166, okay? So what do I think it's going to be? For me, as I go down, again, it's been red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. So now I think that the majority for this next 5 is probably going to be blue, okay? And I think it's going to start right here, all right? So let me go do the last 16. So you can see that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's pretty even, 9 to 7. Okay, so again, I think the majority is going to be blue, so I'm going to write that down as well. Okay, so one last thing I have in the 50-50 picks here is the Powerball number itself, okay? My introduction, I said I really don't care about the Powerball number. Well, I do. You know, if you get the Powerball number, you win automatically, okay? So there's 26 red numbers in the Powerball Lottery, okay? So basically with this column, I just divided it in two. Okay, so if you see a blue number, that means it's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that means it's high, 14 to 26. Over in this column, if you see a red number, that means it's odds. If you see a blue number, that means it's evens. Okay, so now what I do is I just look at the colors. Okay, so here with this red area, you can see that there's been a single red, single red, single red, single red, single red. Okay, so when's it going to double up? Okay, I have a feeling that it's going to double up with this drawing. So I'm going to be looking for a high number between 14 and 26. Okay, over here you can see that there's been a ton of blue. So I think that this is going to be red as well. So I'm looking at just the high odd numbers. Okay, so the 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25 is what I'm going to concentrate on instead of all 26 numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to go with, I've been going with the 9 for the last 15 drawings, but I feel really confident that this is going to be red again. Okay, so I'm going to abandon the 9 and I'm going to go with the 19. Okay, so last time the 19 came up was right here. Okay, so it's been a pretty good long time since the 19 came up, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, all right, so I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to bring this back down again. Okay, so if you want to get my game, what this green mark means is that the Powerball doubled. Okay, so you can see that the 14 came up and then it came right back up again. Okay, it repeated. So everybody likes a repeater. All right, so basically that's how that is. Okay, so write those things down, and now I'm going off to the next strategy, and that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all the numbers, divided it into 4 different groups. Okay, then I put colors to these groups. So when the 5 white winning Powerball numbers come up, I record where they land within these groups down here in the stats. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so again, the numbers were 6, 8, 9, 37, 40. So the 6 is in the blue area. Okay, the 8 is in the blue area. It shares the square with the 66, and I'll go over that in a second. Okay, then the 9 is over here, okay, in the red area. Then the 37 and 40 are in the green. Okay, so again, the 9 was in the red. Over here, the 6 and the 8 were in the blue, so I'll make that a 2. Over here, no winning Powerball numbers were in the orange area. And here, there are 2 winning Powerball numbers, the 37 and the 40. Okay, so if there's a hit, what I do is I color the background red for hot. And if there's a miss, I color the background blue for cold. Okay, so the strategy is with this is try to correctly guess where these zeros are going to come up. Okay, so if I could have correctly guessed that none of these orange numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize in the Powerball Lottery. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to make this 106. And this tells me how many zeros are in this column here, or how many blue marks. Okay, so far I have 106. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this 17. And this tells me how many numbers in this blue area have come up in a row. Okay, so far 17 drawings in a row, there's been a number in this blue area. Okay, so I'm thinking that it's due to miss. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this option card number 2. So I have 15 of these option cards. Okay, and they all use the same colors, red, blue, orange, and green. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card. Okay, so here's option card 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5. Okay, so a little bit different, but all the same colors. Okay, so I'm going to update this one as well. So here it was the 9. In the blue area, there was no winning Powerball numbers. Okay. In the orange area, for this orange, there was the 6 and the 37 for 2. And in the green area, there was 2 as well, the 8 and the 40. Okay, so let me color these up here. And now we're going to make this 92. And we're going to make this 8 drawings in a row now. Okay, so that's how this works. Okay, so what I do now is I came up with a group 1 overview. And that's what this is right here. Okay, so what this is I keep track of all these blue areas. Again, I use all the same colors for each option card. I have 15 option cards. So out of these 15 option cards in the blue area, the last drawing had 4 zeros to it. Okay, so let's find those 4 zeros in the blue area. Okay, so here's 1 0 and then number 2. Here's number 2 right here. Here's number 3. And here's number 4. Okay? And here's my 15th option card right here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to number 1. Okay, so again, last drawing, out of all 15 option cards, there was 4 in the blue area, 4 in the red, 2 in the orange, and 3 in the green. Okay, together that turned out to be 13 zeros that came up. Okay, so there's usually plenty of zeros to choose from. Okay, the drawing before that was 14, 17, 16, 16. Okay. So there has been a single digit here, but you know, it comes up, you know, few and far in between. Okay, so again, there's usually plenty of zeros to try to find. Okay, so what I do here is if there's 5 or more zeros, I color the background blue for cold. Okay, and this gives me some separation. Okay, so what I tried to do is try to correctly guess which one of these group of numbers is going to have a blue mark here to it. Okay, so this one looks the most attractive here. Okay, so if there's no 5s or more, then I call this a row. Okay, that means that all 4 colors had less than 5 zeros to it. Okay, so as I go down through, you can see that there's been lots of rows. Okay, but usually when one comes up, usually the next drawing has a blue mark somewhere. Okay, this one even had 2 of them. So I'm thinking that there's going to be lots of green misses here. Okay, and that's what I wouldn't mind focusing on. But for this drawing here, because there's 17 drawings in a row, okay, and the longest streak is 17 among all of these rows, I'm going to go with this blue not coming up. So I'm going to eliminate all these blue numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so again, hopefully none of those blue numbers will come up because I just got rid of them. Okay, so for you at home, this is where the 50-50 picks come in. Okay, so again, as I go back to my game card here, you can see that I want more even numbers than odd, more to the high side, more to the left side, and more to that blue area. Okay, oh, I'm going to get rid of that blue. I'm changing my mind on that, and you can change your mind. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to group 1. So again, I said no blue numbers here. So again, I want to envision where I think those numbers are going to come up. So at least 3 over here, right? 3 up here and 3 over here. All right. So this is why I'm going to get rid of the blue as well. All right. So now I'm going to move on to option card number 2. And here I think there's going to be at least 3 numbers over here. And this would probably be a great one to pick right here is this green, having none of these green numbers going to come up, okay? Because it just came off of a 14 run, and now it's up to 4, so maybe it's due for 0 right here, okay? I'm not gonna pick this because I already picked mine, okay? So I only recommend that you pick 1 or 2 of these because of the rows that can happen, okay? So here's a row, here's a row. If I don't see a row in a little while, then I'm thinking that is due to come up. So the reason why I didn't pick this is that this is looking like a row where all 4 colors will be represented by a winning Powerball number. Okay, so, but for you at home, if you want to go for that green one, it could be right. Okay, so here's one in this green area as well. You can see that this is a single 0 here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 single zeros. So eventually it's going to double up like this right here. So maybe that's due to happen. So you may want to go with none of these green numbers as well. Okay, so here's where I'm going to pick mine. And I'm going to go with the orange, okay? Just because as I go down through, you can see a bunch of single zeros. And I just have a gut feeling that it's going to be right here. So I'm going to get rid of these orange numbers off of my game card. Okay, the 17, 18, 25, 26. Okay, so the 25 shares the square with the 65, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. In the 58 with the 68, so I'll get rid of this. In the 54. Okay, so hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so I want to go over these numbers off here to the left-hand side. Okay, so as I go to group 1, you can see that there's no numbers over here. Okay. So this is where I say share the square, because if I get rid of these orange numbers, I'm going to get rid of them as a group, okay? And the group includes the 25 and the 65, the 58 and the 68, okay? So it's just a way of picking group of numbers, and that's about it. Okay, so that's all I'm picking is the 1 and the 4 out of all 15 of these option cards, okay? So the more you pick, the greater chance of you getting something wrong. All right. So I'm going to move on. And I'm going to do this for you at home. I want you to look at this and look at where you think the numbers are going to be, the majority of the numbers. Okay. So maybe here's another good one with the green. Okay, moving on to number 6. You know, if you need more time, then just pause the video, okay, to eliminate those numbers, okay? So here, I think more odd numbers. I mean, more even than odds. So this is the only card that is separating the odds and evens. So you can see all the red numbers are odds, all the blue are even, all the orange are odds, all the green are even, okay? So if I'm going to get rid of anything, it's probably going to be the red, because I think the majority of the numbers are going to be up here. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so again, I think the majority of the numbers are going to be to the high numbers. And I also think that it's going to be more even numbers overall. So this is a good bet for me to get rid of these red numbers. Okay, so moving on to 7. And again, I'm just doing this for you at home, okay? Maybe you'll see something. Here has been a big gap, so maybe there'll be a row where I want all 4 color groups to represent those 5 numbers, okay? And then moving on to 8. I think there's going to be a miss here, and it could be this green area right here, okay? Because a 1 comes up a lot. So if this is going to be a 0 right here, this is going to be a 1 right here, okay? And again, that 1 just comes up a lot. So here's 1 right here. 1, 1, 1. Okay, it just does. It just comes up a lot. So maybe this is due as well. Okay, number 8, green. You might want to get rid of those green numbers. Moving on to 9. Here there's a big gap, so maybe there's going to be a row right here. Moving on to 10. This one had a huge gap to it between rows. Because there was such a huge gap, maybe it's due to have another row right here. So I'm going to stay away from that as well. So moving on to 11. Again, I have 15 of these option cards. Okay, so we're getting through them. A 1 that follows a 1 like this happens a lot as well for some reason. Okay, so as I go down through, you can see it happen here and here, here and here. Okay, so here and here. So again, for some reason, it happens a lot. Okay, it's just something that I see, a pattern that I see a lot. So maybe you want to get rid of these orange numbers. Okay. Here you can see that the rows are few and far between, so I'm thinking maybe a row will come up as well. So I'm going to leave that one alone. Here I want to concentrate over on this side, okay? So maybe a green will have a 0 to it. Okay, so for this 14, you can see that this one had 26 drawings in a row. Before that, it was 8. Okay, so maybe it's due to have a 0 right here. Okay, so you might want to get rid of those green numbers in the 14. And the last option card is this 15, and I see a bunch of single zeros here, so I'm thinking that this is going to be another row right here. Okay, so that's it for that. I already made my picks, so I'm going off to the next strategy, and that's strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, folks, so we're almost getting to the end here. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 color groups, here I divided things into 8 color groups. Okay, so the big difference here is that I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these color groups will not have the winning Powerball and eliminate that group of numbers off your game card. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to update this here. Okay, so the last drawing was 6 brown, 8 yellow, 9 red, 37 purple, and 40 yellow. Okay, so we have a red, purple, brown, 2 yellow. So I have all the same colors here. Okay, I have 15 of these option cards, and they all have the same colors of red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. Okay, so here's option card number 1. Here's option card number 2. You can see how the colors are different. Number 3 is even more different. Okay, 4, 5, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this option card number 1. And I have 1 red number, 1 orange, 1 brown, and 2 yellow, okay? So I update it down here. So again, I have a red. Here, what am I doing? I got a no winning Powerball numbers. No winning Powerball numbers in the orange area. No winning Powerball numbers in the green. There was 1 in purple, that 37. 1 in the brown, that's 6. None in the gray. And 2 in the yellow. Okay, so now I count how many groups got hit. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And I'm going to keep this green because the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side. Okay? So why I do that is because, you know, if I see a streak of red, well, I know eventually it's going to turn green. So I'm going to be looking for, you know, if this is green and the majority of the numbers are over here, then that means only 2 of these colored groups could have a 0 to it. Okay? So I tried to break it down like that, give myself a good chance of picking a group that won't be coming up. Okay, so how this works is, again, I like to keep track of every 5 drawings. Okay, like right here, because it gives me a majority. So you can see that there was 3 zeros here, 3 misses. That means that none of these red numbers came up. Okay, when there's a 0. So if there's 3 of them, I colored the background blue for cold. If there's 3 hits in this red area within these 5 drawings, I colored the background red for hot. Okay. So as I go down, this is what random looks like. Okay. Nothing can stay hot forever and nothing can stay cold forever. All right. So when I see something like this, something that's been really, really hot, well, I know eventually it's going to turn blue. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. Okay, so as I go down, what I want to do is guess where that 0 is going to be. Okay, so for this first drawing, you can see that this has been really hot over here to this red area. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that no red numbers are going to come up. I think the 0 is going to be right there. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these red numbers, the 1 down through the 57, okay, which includes the 25 as well. Okay, so as I go to the game card, the 33 and 41, I hope those numbers don't come up. Okay, so going back to group 2 here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down slowly for you at home, okay? And I want you to make a guess on where you think that 0 is going to be. Okay, so go ahead, make your guess. Okay, and X out that color group off of your game card. Okay, so if you think that no yellow numbers are gonna come up, then X out these yellow numbers off your game card here. Okay. So moving on to option card number 2. Again, I want you to use the 50-50 picks on where you think the majority of the numbers are going to be. Okay. So I said 3 over here and 3 over here. Okay. So if I'm correct, that means only 2 numbers could be down here in the low numbers here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my pick, and I'm going to pick orange. Okay, so as I go down, I am going to guess that the 0 is going to be, actually I need to update this here. I'm going to update the first 2 of them. Okay, so again, the numbers that came up were the 6, 8, and 9. So 2 red numbers and a blue, and then 2 purple numbers. Okay, so 2 red, 1 blue, 2 purple. Okay, so no numbers in the orange area, no numbers in the green, 2 in the purple, no numbers in the brown, and no numbers in the gray, no numbers in the yellow. Okay, so should be pretty simple. Just guess where the zeros are going to be, okay? Plenty of them there. So there was 3 that got hit, and the majority of the numbers were to the left side, so I'm going to make this, keep this 3 red, okay? So now I'm going to scroll down slowly for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the orange, and as I go down, you can see that it got pretty hot here, so I'm thinking that I just think that there's going to be a 0 right here, okay? So I'm going to eliminate the orange numbers off of my game card, and that's the 17 to the 24. So the 19 shares the square with the 67, so I'll get rid of that as well. And hopefully those numbers don't come up, okay? So for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you tell me where you think that 0 is going to be. Okay, so for this number 2, this one looks really attractive over here for the red, okay? In fact, there's been 3, 8, 9 drawings in a row where one of these red numbers have come up. Okay, so maybe you might want to get rid of that, all right? So again, scrolling down slowly here for you. You tell me where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video, okay? And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 3. I'm going to pick no blue numbers, okay? So here's the blue, and as I scroll down, you can see things got pretty hot through here. And now I think a 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, and I'm going to get rid of this blue 3, and that's the 1 and the 38. So I'll get rid of the 38 and the 46. Hopefully those numbers don't come up. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly. You tell me where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 4. For me, I'm going to go with no green. Okay, so as I scroll down, you can see how hot things were. It kind of stayed hot, went down a big cool streak, and now I'm back to hot. Okay, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, and I'm going to get rid of these green numbers, the 29 and the 57. The only one left is the 59, so hopefully that number doesn't come up. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you tell me where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 5. For me, I'm going to go with the brown right here. So as I scroll down, see things got pretty hot through here. We're going on a thing of 6 as well. And I just have a feeling about this brown. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to eliminate those brown numbers, which are already gone. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Again, you tell me where you think the 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so number 6, I'm going to go with orange. Here's the orange, and as I scroll down through, you see that things got pretty hot through here, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. We'll see what happens. I'm going to get rid of the orange. 5, 14, 21, 30, all the way down. And there's nothing to get rid of. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Again, you tell me where you think that 0 is going to be. Pause the video if you need more time, and then X out that color group off of your game card. Okay, next one is 7, and I'm going to go with green. As I scroll down, you see that thing got pretty hot through here, kind of stayed hot. And now I think it's going to go on a blue streak here, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to get rid of these green numbers, the 49, 68, 51, 60, all the way across. Get rid of the 51 and the 55. So again, hopefully those numbers don't come up. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. And again, you tell me where you think the 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 8. I'm going to go with red. So as I scroll down through here, you see things got really hot through here, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens. And I'm going to get rid of these red numbers, okay? I know that this is gone, so it's a 37, 48, 69, 63. This is also the 53 as well. So I'll get rid of the 48. And hopefully that number doesn't come up. Okay, so moving on for you, I'm going to scroll down slowly. You tell me where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to number 9. I'm going to go with no blue numbers. You see that things got really hot through here, and now I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so we'll see what happens. And I'm going to get rid of these blue numbers, and that's a 227 pattern on the left side, 1621 on the right side. Okay, so hopefully those numbers don't come up. And for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. You decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off of your game card. Okay, so moving on to 10, we're almost done. I have 15 of these option cards. Okay, so here for 10, I'm going to go with no gray numbers. As we scroll down through, you can see that this gray has been really, really hot. And now I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to get rid of these gray numbers. And that's this pattern of 1728 all the way around. I'll get rid of the 28. It's one more number that I hope won't come up. Okay, so going back for you, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. and then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to 11. I'm going to go with no red. So as I scroll down, you see that things got pretty hot through here, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to get rid of the red numbers. And that's the 6, 17, 35, 56. So hopefully those numbers don't come up. And for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. You decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to 12. I'm going to go with yellow. As I scroll down through here. Here, I just think it's just due for another one, okay? So I'm going to go with this yellow here. And I think the 0 is going to be right here, so we'll see what happens. And I'm going to get rid of this yellow, the 3 and the 39. So hopefully those numbers don't come up. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Okay, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, so moving on to 13. For me, I'm going to go with the orange. I think the 0 is going to be right here. Just gut feeling of mine, okay? And that's the 13 and the 41. So I'll get rid of that 44. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Okay, so certainly this purple looks pretty attractive. The red looks pretty attractive, okay? You decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, the next one is 14. I'm going to go with purple. So as I scroll down through here, everything's been kind of like 50-50 all the way down through. I think the majority is going to go purple here, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. We'll see what happens, and I'm going to get rid of those purple numbers. And that's these two boxes here. That's the 42. I'll get rid of that. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Okay, so for you at home, I'm going to scroll down slowly here for you. Again, you decide where you think that 0 is going to be. If you need more time, then pause the video. And then X out that color group off your game card. Okay, folks, last one. Number 15, I'm going to go with orange. As I scroll down through here, you see that thing's got pretty hot, so I just think that 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of those orange numbers. And that's the 1 through the 64. I'll get rid of the 10. And that's it. Okay, folks, so I'm going to go with the 4, 11, 36, 47, and 52. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight this red here. Okay, so again, more evens than odds. I got the 4, 36, and 52. More high, the 36, 47, 52. And more to the left, 4, 11, 36, 52. So I wrote down that blue by mistake here. Obviously, it's the red area in the 50-50 picks. So as I go back, you can see there's more in this red area than the blue. Okay. So again, I'm going to go back to group 2 for you at home. I'm not going to forget about you here. So I'm going to scroll down slowly. Okay, you guess where you think that 0 is going to come up? Pause the video if you need more time. And then X out that color group off of your game card. Okay, so again, I'm going to go with the 4, 11, 36, 47, 52. Okay, so we'll see how I do. All right, so what are the odds that I made all the correct picks? Okay, they're pretty steep. All right, so we go to the odds. Okay, so getting the grand prize. All right, all 5 white balls and a red ball. The odds of doing that are 1 in 292 million. Okay. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct. If I get the red ball correct too, then bonus. Okay. But the odds of doing that are 1 in 11,688,000. Okay. So the odds are pretty steep. All right. A nice prize is the 4 white balls and a red ball that pays 50,000. Okay. Plus whatever the power play is. That's just about 1 in a million odds of doing that. Some more realistic odds is getting 4 white balls correct. That pays $100 plus the power play if you play it. 3 white balls pays $7. Okay, if you get just the red ball, then that pays $4 plus the power play. Okay, so because the odds are so steep, you should really play responsibly. Okay, I just want to let you know that if you spend $3 per drawing, there's 2 drawings per week. That equals $312 that you will spend a year on the lottery. Okay? So in closing, I just want to thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.